Hello everybody and welcome back, and in today's video we're going to be going over the startup of the Boeing 747-8i. Obviously I am using the Fly UK Aero, which is the virtual airline I'm part of, livery. So got this livery as part of joining the airline. Obviously I had to download and go through the proper channels. I probably will do a video on that later on for those who want to join. So without any further ado, oh, and we're currently at San Francisco, considering it's daylight over in the States at the moment. So, without any further ado, we're just going to jump in the cockpit. So, at the moment, there's nothing going to be much happening around in the cockpit at the moment. So, first things first is we will get the batteries on. So, on the 747, head over to the overhead panel, and this is the batteries and the APU and the external power. So, we'll release this cover, and then we'll set the battery master, and then we will then put on the external power. See, and the plane is now coming alive. All the displays are up, tells us that the park brake's on. Obviously we're not doing anything at the moment, we're not going to take off, we're not going to taxi or anything like that. We're just going to do a basic start up. So, obviously all the displays are up. Obviously you can change the range of the map, zoom in and zoom out using the range above the flight display here. Obviously the same again, press the altimeter button, which is B on the keyboard, or should be B unless you've mapped it somewhere else. So the altimeter is set correctly. Then you've also got the different map modes, so you've got your flight plan mode, map, VOR, and approach hold mode. I'm not going to dabble into these two knobs at the moment. I'm going to warn light, we'll click that off. So then over here, obviously we have our autopilot. So this one here is your speed in your Mac. You've got your flight director, your auto throttle, and you've got your thrust mode, your speed mode, your flight level change mode, your vertical nav, and your LNAV. You also got your heading hold if you want to go use heading only, if you want to follow it that way. You have your vertical speed, which is you can either decrease the rate of climb or increase the rate of climb, the same with the rate of descent. And then you have your altitude, which you will set for your desired flight, and obviously that is personal preference unless you're flying an actual route and you want to have official flight altitudes for the route you're flying. And obviously you've got your vertical speed button there, which activates the vertical speed, and then you have your altitude button hold. Then you've got your location hold mode, which is what LOC stands for. And then you have your approach mode for when you're coming into approach for landing. So if you want to do it that way, some people prefer to handball these in. I mean, more power to you if you can handball them in. It's a very difficult plane to fly. So, what we've also got is our engine display. So at the moment, engines aren't on, so it's just going to be 0, and all these numbers are just going to be set the same. You've got your stabilizer, that's what stab means. The gear's down, obviously, if it wasn't, would be bellying down on the floor. Also, like with Airbus A320, it's got the speed limits for the various degrees of flaps. So flaps 1, 285 knots, flaps 5, 265, 10, 20, 25, 30, and so on and so forth. This knob here is inoperative. This is inoperative. These are inoperative. Obviously, you've got your landing gear knob there. And then you've also got your auto brake, which you can set. You can also set to RTO. Then over on the throttle panel, not much here to be honest. Obviously, you've got your flaps, which you can manually move in and out. You got your throttle quadrant. Your fuel switches, we'll get back to them later because they're important to starting up the engines. And then obviously you've got your speed brakes, pull them back, pull them forward, unless you've got a joystick. Then you can set it and arm it and all that whatnot. Then you've got your parking brake, quick on and off. Got your radio section, your rudder trim, pitch aileron trim, You've also got the seatbelt sign is down here. It's not up on the overhead panel, unlike the A320. So, oh, and also on that pad doesn't work, by the way, unfortunately. Hopefully, if fly-by-wire I do one, they might get it to work. So obviously you've got your panel lighting. So that's your floodlight brightness. Switch it up, down to your preference. Obviously it's daytime, yeah, so I'm going to keep them off. Then you've got the other instruments lighting. You've got the map lighting, the map brightness. Then you also have your main flight display. And then your primary flight display. Lights there. So, and oh, another thing I forgot to mention, obviously the autopilot. Has 3 different modes. I just tend to stick with the one. So obviously, you only got the one pilot in until the shared cockpit comes out, which is hopefully not too soon. And then you have the disengage for in case, for whatever reason, you might have to disengage the autopilot. Controls on both sides are pretty much the same. Obviously, you got your FMC for the more technical side, for those who want to put in flight plans. You've got your routes, origin, destination, flight number, company route, your fixes, identification, position, takeoff, thrust, obviously approach settings, and then also we've got, obviously it's shown on this display here that the engines aren't getting any fuel in. So, covered the lighting, the autopilot, how to turn the batteries on. So, what we need to do now is set these to auto, turn on the engine generators. Obviously the ones below are in up, and then we'll put that cover back on. Set the battery mount back on the switch, and then we will have the APU start. We'll get the APU generators on, actually. That would help. So, come towards the back of the plane, you will hear that little engine, or big engine since it's 747, slowly start up. So whilst that's starting up, we will stay on the main overhead panel, but we will scooch along to this side. Now, these are starter buttons for your engines. We're going to leave them for 1 second. Now what we want to do is get the fuel valve on. So close that there. Get the fuel pump switches on, which is working our way across. Get the stabilizing fuel pumps on, and then we'll also get the main on. So it's just getting all these on. So if you look now, the units for the fuel, depending on how much fuel you've got in, it tells you your reserve, your stabilizing, and each of the fuel in each of the engines. Obviously I've got none in the center because I've not put that in the settings. So I've got 35.6, 35.6, got to make sure they're equal on the same, otherwise it'll be unbalanced. So reserves 1 and 2, 10.3, 10.3, which is 22.1. And then the mains got 48.3, 48.3. And everything is green. It means the fuel is running. So, don't know why that's a 2.5. Odd. So, what we're going to do now is start the engine. So, we'll start off with number 4. So, push the starter button, and we'll open the fuel line. And we'll go, number slowly starting to go. We'll go outside, so let's engine number 4, and we'll work our way across. So that's engine number 4, spooling up. Waiting for this little bar here to go up to the green line. So as you can see, slowly starting to go up, and you can also see on the fuel line that there's fuel going into engine 4. The starter switch should go back into its original position. Yes, it has. So that's now off. I think I'll turn these off. Don't think these are necessary. There we go. So, yeah, that was main issue. So, I think that's if one engine runs out of fuel, you can manually override it to divert fuel from a different engine, which I did not know about until now. So this is even a learning experience for me. So, why is that not getting the fuel? Okay. There we go. That's why. So that's starting to stabilise the fuel. Wait for this bar to come up. That's the starter switch, that little click going back in. Wanted to hit that little bar there because that's when it's idle. And we can go ahead and start number 3. So, same again. Engine starter on. Get the fuel control open. And then number 3 should start to come alive. So let's go outside. And there we go. That's number 3. Number 4 is running. Number 3 slowly coming alive. So we'll go back in. There we go. So we just wanted to get that bit there, that bar there, which is the idle position. Want this bar to be the same. Pretty much all these engines you want to have the same across the board. So there we go. It's going into N1. Wait a few more seconds. It'll go up and then it should go down. You want the numbers to correspond with each other. So this should go down to 489. There we go. And 23.4, 23.4. So run the fuel control. Engine starter switch on. So that's engine number 2. So that's 4 and 3. There we go. Yeah, the engine. Let's go outside. Let's have a check. Oh, that engine's idling for some reason, and I don't know why. So, I don't know what that is, but we'll go ahead and put engine 1 on as well. So, 489, 489, 489, 23.4, 23.4, 23.4. Those are your magic numbers you want to aim for. And obviously, if you look just below, it tells you the weight and the total fuel. Cabin altitude, obviously you can't really set that. It's also got the temperature. got your transponder code. You'll get that obviously when you do a flight. And obviously you've got your window heat. If it's really cold, you've got your engine ice on. If it gets a bit chilly around the edges, airframe de-ice. You've got your landing lights, runway lights, and your taxi light. And then you've got your beacon, your nav, your strobe, your wing, your logo. And that is it there. APU bleeds on, left and right isolation's on. And I think that is pretty much it, because most of the buttons... Obviously you can jettison fuel if you need to. I've never had to. But it's just there, just in case of an emergency. Obviously can't control the temperature of the flight deck. All this is just in-op. Just added bits and bobs. Then you've got buttons at the back here, which are of course inoperable. Can't out interact with them. You know, more buttons there. You've got the phone, even more buttons, but I don't think, obviously, you cannot touch them. And there we have it. Oh, and we've got instrument brightness. These are your buttons here for your upper and lower displays. And that is it. Let's have a look outside. And there you have it. That is the 747 up and running. So, once again, thank you again for tuning this guide. And I think the next guide will be the 787-10 Dreamliner, which is one of my favourite planes. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. In fact, what will help is if you hit that like and subscribe button for more videos like this, if you like these videos. And apologies again, because obviously as I am a law student, obviously it's going to be getting a bit more busy in the next coming weeks, but I will try and push out as many of these videos as I can. So, once again, it is goodbye from me, and I will see you in the next video.